Hi, everybody.
You can change the world!
It's Damien, Smile Factory. It's been a while. Happy 2022. Happy New Year. So, I haven't made a video in a really long time, and I apologize. So, a lot has happened, and I'm going to try to fill everybody up to speed.
Yo, what's up, Flex fans? We're going to check out the new green screen. It's awesome. I think you're going to love it. What?
So I got the IS300 with a trade. Basically, I sold the F350 to a good friend, Jeremy, and he gave me, of course, Mooney, and then this. This car came with a gutted interior because several cats have had more than enough sex inside and peed and pooped everywhere, and it was disgusting apparently. So it was definitely in some kind of accidents, multiple, I'd say, possibly World War II. Not 100% sure, but this thing was pretty well beat, but it ruled. So it was a solid foundation. The motor would start up and run for a little bit, and I'm talking like a second or two, and then shut down. But it gave me faith that the motor was good, but we never really got to run it long enough in the very beginning. Compression seemed decent, you know, whatever. Long story short, it was just a fuel pump relay. I got that sorted, and then she ran and drove. I put headlights in it. It came without headlights, so I had to grab some aftermarket headlights. And here I'm kind of debating on running 18s or 17s. I had T7Rs and CR Kais, and then I bought these XT7s here that are 17s. I ended up going with the XT7s as to kind of match the TRD side skirts and the Gretty front lip. Besides that, I put a walled style grill and just very little things, you know. In the very beginning, I was just kind of making sure I dialed it properly. I put the BC coils on, running 24K in the front, 16K in the rear. I found that really makes these big boats sporty feeling. I did the same on the Verosa, and it was just night and day. These cars tend to have a lot of body roll, so that really tightened everything up. And then I had to replace the tow rig, so I ended up going with an E450 shuttle bus. This thing was really rad. Sadly, it turned out to have an oil leak in some kind of galley that the whole motor needed to be pulled, so meanwhile, we ended up doing way too much modifications to the motor to make it super sound. But all in all, this tow rig was really cool. I ended up going and selling the enclosed trailer that I had, the 24-foot enclosed trailer, and I bought this Texas rollback style, which was really nice. And it basically took over the inside space. We could store stuff safely out of the weather inside the bus, as well as turn it into a cool sleeping quarters. So I never got a chance to build it, but we ended up throwing a bunch of futons, and it's very comfortable. It was a good time. Hi, I'm Chad. I like to eat stuff. And then we did some drifting. Towing with the rig for the first time was very smooth. I could, you know how everybody always says, you can't even feel a trailer. I actually really couldn't. The bus was a beast. Sadly, I don't have any footage, but at that event, the clutch ended up basically shit in the bed. It was slipping, it would get hot, I could do like a run or two, and then something was basically wrong. More on that in a little bit, because that became a gremlin. Yeah, so after the event, it was probably one of the first events I've done in forever with a shitty-looking car, which goes against pretty much everything I stand for. I still needed to drive and wanted to test this thing and just get a good feel for it. So after that event, we ended up getting ready to prep it and paint it because, you know, I'm not a piece of shit. So I scuffed the shit out of it. I'm talking like very little prep work. No body work. Most of the stuff was done previously. I just kind of, you know, made sure to hit every single spot so that it is scuffed. And then we hit it with a cheap paint. I think the paint ended up running about, you know, $30. Reduced with lacquer thinner, and it turned out pretty good. You can still see some of the crappy bodywork, but, you know, as you can see, it's way better than what it looked like before. So, you know, take pride in your stuff, people. What the fuck? It's so easy. Anyway, yeah, pretty stoked. So this is where I started to kind of fall in love with this car. It turned from kind of like a seat time car to, wow, I think I love this. It drives really good. It's on basic, excessive, zero Ackerman knuckles, and I'm just stoked. This car rules. Then we put it back together, and it was time to go do some more drafting. Me and Chad went to Ready Set Drift and got some tandos in. Also pretty monumental because this was the first time that me and him actually drove together since he started drifting just a few months ago, previous to this.
You're gonna like make a right in.
Oh yeah, you go straight there to turn. Yep, straight, and then you're gonna make a left, and then you're gonna make a right.
Big shoe, hairdresser, let's go!
So after a few events, the motor finally started to show a lot of wear. It was smoking ever since we got it, but it was starting to make some top end noise, and just it was time. So yeah, she was pretty much toasted at this point. But moving on, we had to get Chad's car situated. We are not allowed to let him drive looking like crap. So we all pitched in and started prepping, and this was a fun project. So his roof, he actually spray painted himself, and I threw a shit ton of clear on top and really brought out some shine. And his car turned out really hot. I'm really happy with how it turned out. We used the same cheap paint on the rest of the car, but for his roof and everything, we used a nice professional clear coat, of course. Also, just a quick note, James prepped Chad's entire car himself and is the best friend anybody could have. So I'm going to end this episode with this. Basically, I feel like we're already catching up, to some of the stuff, but there is some important things that need to be gone over, and I'm going to do them in a short video coming up next. So yeah, stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a great prostate exam if you have a prostate. All right, cool. Prostates. Bye.
And another one.